It's alarming how many adolescents commit suicide.
Yeah, it's really a shame we don't have a foolproof way to predict and prevent this major public health issue.
I read a paper about this in college. They said there are 3 key factors in preventing suicide, but there is no way to really screen for it.
What are the key points?
It said adverse experiences were the main point of the 3. They are experiences in the past that may have caused a person harm that they now compare to current pain. It makes the pain not seem so bad and allows them to hurt themselves even more. These events could be abuse, or neglect, or any mental or physical pain that someone has went through.
That's interesting. What are the other 2 points?
Second is acquired capability. This is a co-part to the first point. This is the part that allows the person to inflict the extra pain on themselves and not realize they are actually hurting themselves worse. The last point is the person's availability to lethal means. This means when someone gets the idea to commit suicide, there is a weapon, or another way to kill themselves readily available to them.
It sounds like all of these points could be found in a person's home.
I suppose you are right.
You could just get psychologists to perform home evaluations for all middle school children. This would allow the psychologists to look for those 3 key points.
That is a great idea. Psychologists could search the child's home just for these key points. If they find any of the points, it has potential to save many young people's lives.
Maybe even someone you or I know. It could even be a child or other close family member's life you could save just by letting a professional look over your home. Imagine all of the mourning and heartache this could save.
It wouldn't be that easy to just get every person to allow someone to enter their home. Some people think this is against their right to privacy and shouldn't have to let anyone they don't want to enter their house in.
That is true. But if it has potential to save your son or daughter's life, why wouldn't you allow a psychologist in just to make sure your child is safe?
That is a good question. I think I would be okay with a professional coming into my home to make sure my child is okay.
I would too. Imagine how great it would be to have a professional psychologist tell you that your child isn't at risk for such a devastating thing as suicide.
Yes, that would be a great feeling. But this isn't in place yet. We need many more people to see how great this idea is and to realize that even if you think your family is safe from something as devastating as adolescent suicide, you're not. It can be hidden with almost no telling signs.
If only there was some way to make a video and send it out for the world to see. Anyway, for an act like this Home Evaluation Act to work, we would have to amend our Constitution. It would be difficult to get so many people to approve a bill like that.
Again, this is true. The majority of adults able to vote have children of their own. We would just need to convince them that it would be safer for their kids if they voted pro-Home Invader Act.
How would psychologists search for adverse experiences or acquired capability in a child's home?
The psychologist would look at the photos and the activities the child has become a part of throughout the child's life. They would be able to see any oddities in the photos or in the time frame of the child's life. Also, the psychologist could sit down and talk with the child about how their life has been, and to tell him stories from the past.
How could you limit the availability of lethal means in your home if you need knives in your kitchen?
You could put them away in drawers. Studies have shown that if the object is out of sight, it's less likely that you will think of it. This is why psychologists would be able to tell families of better ways to store possible deadly tools and limit the availability to lethal means.